Hey guys, Rich Page, our Jebethan Timber Frame Company, the main timber framer. We put together a video a day or so ago on running the Woodmizer MP220 rip saw planer, and we ran some wood through, and in short order we figured out that we needed to make an enhancement. So without a lot of ado, let me show you the enhancement and then talk a little bit about how to feed wood through here and where the enhancement will help. All right, let me move the camera around. Okay, so simple enough, running the machine, you're going to feed your wood through here. I guess any goofball will know that. But what we found was that we really didn't understand where to put this guide wheel without having to grab a tape measure every time with relation to the wood, and having the guide wheel put pressure on the wood and making sure you had pressure on your fence. So let me talk you through how to load this thing up and how to put it together. So on this machine right here, this is where your saw blade is cutting. Typically the piece that you want is on this side of your scale. All right, so with the guide fence over here, and this is set up pretty well right now. Let's say we wanted to run a piece, and we want a piece coming out at 5.5 inches. So that's set about right there. Now the question is, what kind of stock are you going to feed in? Well, in this case, let's say we're feeding in a piece of 8-inch stock. You can see my scale here. What this scale is doing, it's telling me that this pressure wheel is going to put pressure on the wood and keep the wood against the fence. If you don't put the pressure wheel, let me get this camera adjusted here a little bit, fellas. If you don't get your wood, the pressure wheel against the wood, it's going to wander off your fence, and then you're not going to get the size you're looking for. So in a nutshell, you're going to figure out what you want for size here, set this up, set your fence, and then you're going to say to yourself, okay, grab your tape measure, grab your wood, say, okay, I've got an 8-inch piece of wood coming in, and then you're going to set this scale. Let's say you had a piece of 6-inch wood coming in and you want a 5.5-inch piece. So what we'll do is we'll loosen up our guide wheel assembly, and we're going to slide this over here, and now you'll see there's your 6-inch piece. Lock this down here, feed your wood in, and you can see your guide wheel is going to put pressure on the side of the wood, keep the wood tight to the fence, and then you're going to get your size desired every time. If you don't manage this guide wheel putting pressure against your fence, your wood is going to wander through here, and it's not necessarily going to be where you want it on your saw blade, so you won't get your desired width. So this guide wheel is tremendously important. So we ended up putting this scale on the top here, and now when you're feeding in your wood, let's say, like I said, let's say you got a pick a number out of the sky here. Let's say you got a 9-inch piece of wood going in. You're going to set it like this, tighten it down. Now you know that your guide wheel will put pressure on the board, which will keep pressure on the fence. You'll get your desired 5.5 over here, and it won't wander off your blade. So that's the enhancement we made. Without this piece here, it's a piece of aluminum. Every time we ran a piece, we had to get in here with a tape measure and kind of figure out where to put the guide wheel so that we had pressure on the fence. So that's the enhancement we made. This is just a piece of 2-inch aluminum stock by about 1/8. We drilled and tapped some M4 holes. This is a metric machine, so we drilled them in metric. This housing here is aluminum, so it drills pretty easily, tap pretty easily. Put 2 screws in it there to keep it so it doesn't flop around. Tighten it down, and then you'll see it doesn't flop around. And we put a washer underneath here, just enough to lift it up so it sits just a hair above your guide fence, so that when you move your guide fence, the guide fence moves free of this scale. We cut the scale with a little piece of carbide. We scribed it. You can see the scribe marks. Then we use an indelible marker just to mark off the size in inches and at the half mark, so we know where we are. All right, that's a little enhancement on the MP220. Feedback thus far is it works pretty good. It gives you a pretty good product. You have to know how to run it, and that's one of the things we put on to help us run it better. All right, give me some feedback. Click like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.